Welcome to the SKE podcast. I'm absolutely delighted to have Lisa Pearson on with us today. Hey, Lisa, how are you?
I'm good, Siobhan. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm delighted. So it's only our third episode, actually, and the aim is to really get the content out about the courses. You know, we have the Diploma in Oral and Positive Health, which is the one that you completed a couple of years ago. And we now have the certificate in lifestyle medicine coaching, and more recently, the certificate in health education. So tell us, why did you embark on the journey of going on the Diploma in Oral and Positive Health?
I think I'm a long time in clinics. I'm 24 years working in dentistry. So some of that was dental nursing and then into dental hygiene. And I think as the time has gone on, I see the change maybe in what's presenting into clinics, particularly if you look at medical histories, the likes of the increase in type 2 diabetes, the
Hmm.
increase in stress. And it plagued me a little as to how to manage that, because I knew we could definitely look at playing a role in regards to it, but how to go about it. And I was a long time away from any form of education. So when I seen the course popping up, it appealed to me for a few reasons. It was going to hit that area that I was interested in when it came to patient care. It was online. So as someone with a full-time job and with a family, the fact that it was online, it made it so much more convenient for me. I live in the country. So sometimes if I was looking at courses, they were going to be city bound, and that just
Yes.
wasn't going to fit in. I wasn't going to be able to be city bound. So online was definitely a big appeal for me. Then there was a payment plan, which again is also ideal
Tick the
because
box.
yeah. I like that. Like when you're budgeting for
I
your
know.
year, you're not necessarily maybe budgeting for something like that. So when it came up and you could do one kind of initial payment and then be paying it off, that was ideal for me. Then the rewatching of videos. So generally I do like to attend in person. Like I liked to be present because it was giving you the options to ask questions. But I'm a little bit slower to take in information. And definitely if it's a little more complex, I need time to be able to sit with it. So to have the option to rewatch it, re-listen, work through things, and then go back to whoever was maybe given that lecture, be able to contact them to say, listen, I would rewatched, this is what I was thinking. Is my thinking right? Or have I gone down the wrong path? So all those little things added up to make it, I think, ideal for me and what I needed.
Excellent. And this, all of the speakers, the lecturers that came on, were so open about being contacted.
Yeah.
Everybody did take that opportunity, and it was just
Yeah.
fantastic to watch that collaboration. And it continues to be like that. And the further thing that's happened since, Lisa, on Zoom is that we can get AI notes. Now, you really need to double check them and everything like that, but it kind of gives you
Yeah.
a thumb up, which is kind of handy just as a quick reference, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
From the course, what was one of your biggest takeaways?
Probably the fact that you can be any age and submerge yourself into something again. So sometimes I think, well, maybe this is, again, it's just my thinking, but you can get a little caught up that you're doing your job, you're doing your day-to-day stuff. You're maybe doing stuff with the kids. You're kind of maybe not prioritizing yourself for what you might need out of any given day. So I think to get yourself back into it, like get that vigor again, like get that fire in your belly for
Yeah,
something. So obviously in my case it was for my profession. While I still loved it, I did feel like it was waning a little, like I definitely needed something. So I think to be invigorated again, that like it's, I don't know, is it 2 years? I did the first round of it, so whatever amount of
yeah,
time ago that was. And like it has, I've continued. So I think sometimes it'll just be that push. Now, when I say I left with a fire in my belly, that could be from acid reflux or stomach ulcers from the stress I gave myself for the year while trying to do it. But, we'll never know.
that's all parts of it too, isn't it, Lisa? You know,
Completely.
everybody kind of, around the assignment time, everyone kind of gets, a little bit of anxiety comes up or whatever.
Yeah. And I will say, like, when I'm saying stress, that was stress I was putting on myself because the
Yes.
course itself wasn't stressful. There was no stress from when you were at your lectures, like none of that. Like it was all very enjoyable. The stress was on myself. So it was just kind of finding a new way to work your day and to manage your time better in order to be able to dedicate it to where you needed to. So say for me, I was getting up early in the morning. I might get up at 5 in the morning and do some of my college research or start some of my assignments and then be ready to face the day when the kids will be getting up. That worked better for me. I was more productive then than I would be trying to sit down and do it at 9 o'clock in the evening. So when I'm saying stress, it genuinely, the course itself wasn't the stress. It was me. But funnily enough, part of the course is teaching you how to manage stress as well. So it's all
So
tied in.
it all aligns. Regarding that stress and us as clinicians, there is a kind of an onus on us, like that everything has to be perfect. And one of the things I say about the course, please enjoy it. And you'll remember me saying, but it's very
Mm,
difficult to hear that when you're in the middle of something. It's kind
mm,
of like being in the middle of the forest, isn't it?
yeah.
But it's about enjoying the content and bringing that back to your practice. And, but I can see every year it starts out, everybody is aiming to achieve the highest marks.
Hmm.
But when you go through it, actually, when you look back, and I've done this myself, and you say, actually, I didn't need to achieve such a high mark and
Yeah.
relax into the content. It's so different postgraduate education, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. Now, I wasn't looking to achieve the highest mark because actually, like academia was never my strength. So I'd never go into something being like, I have to get the best. I'm more like, I really just want to pass. So I was always kind of just aiming to pass. And then some elements was like, I just wanted to get the work done and out of my head and submit it. I think you and I might have spoken about this throughout the course. You'd be like, you have more time if you don't want to hand it in yet. And I was like, no, I want it in. I want it out of my brain so I can kind
Yeah.
of park it a little. So everybody, I think, will feel differently about it. But certainly in my clinical day to day, my takeaway from it has my approach to people has been so much, I wouldn't say so much more different, but definitely different. I feel like I'm more confident in being able to approach different scenarios. So, like that, patients maybe with type 2 diabetes and it's diet related. Like, I'm, no, I was never inclined to blame the patient, but I can take a different approach to how I want to discuss that with them now. And some of that comes from the advice or the snippets of information that you pick up along the way about type 2 diabetes, about ultra processed diets, foods,
Yes.
and how you then deliver that information to a person in order for them to be able to understand it. And that it's not well, you should manage this by eating less and exercising more. Do you know, like that wasn't the approach. So it was all those kind of, there's no one big thing, but it was all those small things along the way that you're doing the lectures that you get these small little snippets of information and all of it gathered together. Then it was kind of the take home to bring into a clinical setting. I loved it. Like I really like some of the lectures still stick with me. Some of the people I still talk about to other people would be like, oh, have you ever looked at any of this work? And the likes of Varka, and I call him the sugar man, but I know that's not
Tim.
his
Yeah, Tim
name.
Ives.
Yeah, like his lecture, but I just, to me, his lecture was the most profound out of the whole thing. And again, it's one of those ones then that I've been able to carry with me. And I still look him up to see what he's up to or has he anything new out. Or he's just a very interesting man.
This year, they've decided to do the No Sugar Challenge in January, the
Oh,
group.
go on.
So we might put that out there to everybody. Actually, we have a group now, don't we? Positive Health Advocates for anybody that's
Yes.
left the program to come on. So we must put it in there. I must remember.
Yeah.
So
Do.
that's
I'm not
in
doing it, but
January.
do
Anybody that wants to join us, the No Sugar with Tim Ives.
it.
What was the peer support like? You were an integral part of that team, and they all said you were so supportive. And of course, you have a wicked sense of humour, so I think you picked them all up. What was the peer support like for you, Lisa?
That's so nice. Did the girls say that? That's so lovely. Oh, that's really nice now.
You wish you'd known then.
Yeah. I know that in some scenarios people don't want jokes, but it is definitely my go-to. I find comfort in sarcasm and wit.
Yeah.
um yeah, we were a lovely bunch. Some girls in the UK and some girls in Ireland. And I had known one or two of the girls, but not overly well. and I didn't know who was starting it because I didn't put anything out there myself to say that I was joining, so I didn't know who was joining either. But we were lovely like that. Like everybody was busy, but we were in a WhatsApp group together, but no one in the group put pressure on anybody else. Like nobody was. Sometimes you'd be in groups and you would just feel pressure, like you'd have to mute the group. Everyone might be talking about their assignments or their work, and they'd be like, "Oh, I have mine done," or "I don't have mine done," and it's the night before. That type of scenario.
Yes,
There was none
yes.
of that. Like I found it a very calm WhatsApp group to be part of, and there was no competition. So nobody was in it trying to compete with anybody else. I know obviously our interests were different anyway, so we were all getting the same information but going a different angle with it. So I guess that takes out maybe some competitiveness, but none of the girls I found were competitive. And to me, that's a big thing because you can find yourself very stressed in a competitive environment.
Definitely.
And definitely, I think in hygiene, and now your podcast might get cancelled for this, but I definitely think in hygiene, it can be very closed shop. Like everybody can be very guarded and think that any information they have, that they should hang on to that information like it should be top secret instead of sharing it so that, everybody feels the same or is kind of working similar or reassurance or there definitely over the years hasn't been too much of that. I think it's better now, but definitely for a long time that wasn't the case. Whereas there was none of that in the course. Everybody was reassuring. Everybody knew kind of everybody's scenario and just supportive. They were just a lovely bunch.
Supportive. Yeah. And
Mm.
that's actually continued, Lisa, with each cohort. And we're actually going into our fourth cohort in January. And that's because we weren't going to do one in January, but I had some people contact. So we said, okay, we had to look at it with the team and we said, we'll put it on. I don't know, the type of learner that we attract are all very supportive to each other and all interact and all contribute. And so it's
Mm.
quite a privilege for me to witness that.
Oh, the privilege is all ours. This wouldn't be possible without what you have been putting forward for us. So it's very nice for you to say it's a privilege. Like, what about us? Like, we're the ones gaining so much more. Do you know?
Yeah, I think, I suppose, when I went back to study, I felt very isolated and didn't really have anybody to share
Mm,
it with.
yeah.
And I do, obviously, we know social connection and peer support is so important. We've studied that and we study that in the course. So I think that's what I wanted to have.
Mm,
The other thing
mm.
is academic writing and referencing. And actually, Lisa, that's become your passion, hasn't it? Research. But where did that love of research start?
It was born out of pure hate. Absolute pure hate for it.
Go on, tell us.
Yeah, I really didn't like research at all. And again, it was a long time since I was in college doing hygiene, but I found the research element so laborious. Didn't understand it. Like, I didn't enjoy it at all. Some of that, I suppose, is that you're trying to compact a lot into your years in college. So every area is kind of getting a snippet. And then you're meant to kind of grow on that. And I didn't grow on it at the time at all. But yeah, no, I definitely detested it and I wasn't good at it. And I wouldn't even say that I'm good now, but I don't know, with age comes wisdom, doesn't it? Well, not in my case, I just got age, but for some people with age comes wisdom. And I think you can look at things a little differently and with a different perspective. But I have an unhealthy love for makeup, and it's where all my money goes. And after a time, I found that like I was interested in the products and stuff, but I wanted to know more about like the formulas, why people were using different labs, things like white labeling in China, where brands would come out with
Yes,
products
yes.
all of a slap. So it kind of really started from that. I started to follow people in the beauty industry, um, cosmetic chemists and scientists on Instagram, listening to some of their podcasts, listening to how they were breaking down papers like that around formula. Some of it would even be around guidelines. So why in some countries the formula is different and it would be maybe to do with the banning of a certain chemical. And then they'd go into why that chemical was banned in that country and why it wouldn't be used. So it
Okay.
really yeah, I really started to maybe get more of an interest in it through that. Then into like kind of skincare, they'd talk about, so say vitamin C, why can some vitamin C's be €5 and another vitamin C maybe be 150? And they'd talk about like what it had to be suspended in to keep it stable. And like it was probably explained to me in a manner that I liked because I liked the topic. So I
Yes,
think once
yes.
I liked what I was
Yeah.
listening to or liked what I was reading, it made it more that I wanted to understand it and then made it more comprehensible for me. And then I just kind of continued that then into my own profession. I started to do some work with Listerine, as you know, and a
Yes.
lot of that is around research as well. So I had to have a little bit of confidence in research going into that. And then that has continued to grow as well because I read an awful lot more papers now too. But definitely, I think finding something that I loved as a passion and
Yes.
then eventually branching into more of a scientific element of that allowed me then to grasp things better than when it was when I was doing it kind of the other way around, doing my job and then trying to figure it out.
I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you sit there and just have a little think to yourself, if you think about all of that, and then you think a couple of weeks ago, you actually came on with the learners and did an academic workshop. When you think like of your journey, you must be very
Mm.
proud of yourself to think that you came on and it's one of the most valued workshops in the course.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice. Because, yeah, like there is an element of um, pride. Maybe not even pride is the right word. Definitely the last class that I gave, I came off of that really chuffed with myself. I think it went really, really well. And I don't say that lightly about myself or about the things that I do. But I thought it went really, really well. And some of that I think is that each year my confidence in the area grows. So I think that transfers well then when I'm speaking to other people about it. But like I say this all the time, like I'm not an expert in it, but I have just over time grown within it. And I think that will stay being the case, that I will continue to grow. Well, hopefully I will anyway. But yeah, that's what it's really nice to know that actually they're getting so much out of it. Thank
You
you.
make it practical, Lisa. You break it down and you make it doable. You know, I've sat in so many workshops and lectures around academic writing and referencing. But yeah, when I sit in yours, it just you bring it to life. And it's so important for our peers to know how to research. Because if you think, and we go through this on the course as well, every day we're recommending products, for instance.
Mm,
How
mm,
do we know what we're recommending?
mm,
We'll go back to you, we talk about the makeup, and you love makeup, so you had to go and investigate that. But
mm,
how many of us actually say, okay, what exactly is in this toothpaste or mouth rinse? And what's the
mm.
latest evidence? Because that's another thing. A lot of people have come back and said, now I know how to look at the research. I just didn't get it before. But that's something
Yeah,
you have to keep up all the time. It's not just something you can turn on and off, is it, as a clinician?
no. And I think sometimes the thing with research is it's ever evolving, like it's growing. I think our learning stops from where we have stopped. So if we, a dentist, dental hygienist, dental nurse, dental technician, if we haven't continued any CPD, and I know in this country legally we don't have to, but if you haven't continued on and your education stops when you have finished college, then that's where your information is and stays. So you kind of need to be progressing with the research because science isn't stagnant. Science doesn't stay the same. It's continuously changing and evolving. And what you might have learned 20 years ago about different products, that could all have changed. And that happened for me. Like some of the stuff that I came across doing my own assignments, I already had like thoughts in my head based on clinical decisions that I was making, but the research wasn't backing my clinical decisions. And I do mention that when I was writing up about it. And it may not necessarily change what I do, but at least now I know that I'm definitely making the most researched answer, even if I'm not necessarily always going with the research. Because you won't, because your clinical guidance can help you make decisions too. But definitely, I think you need to be progressing with science and not staying where you last had any science interventions.
Yeah, I really like that. Lisa, for somebody that's interested in research, where would they even start?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay away. Books. I think books are one of the best resources that we have available to us when it comes to trying to grasp or understand research. And because now we have it in so many formats, like obviously you have your physical book, you can do an ebook, an audio book. Like there's so many ways to get that information. And in the majority of books, you find that whatever the author is discussing, they will generally do a very good breakdown of the research around the topic. So the most current research, bringing it maybe all the way back to the initial research on a topic. So it'll give you a massive amount of information. But then usually again like that, they're very good at breaking down the information that they give. I find books definitely one of the best. Now, I say that because I do consume books a lot. I did 50 something Audible books this year, and I don't know, 50 something books through the library. You know, there's an app for the library now, you can do borrow books. I did 50 something books through that as well. And that was just this year. Now, they're not all research related, like some of them are fantasy. That sounds kind of raunchy, isn't it? Well, I suppose that is kind of raunchy as well, but the majority of it would be research related or topic related, you know, like where we are with diabetes, where we are with
Yes.
the likes of autism, ADHD in particular, because it's such a hot topic at the minute, which social media obviously has a lot to answer for. Because you go on that and you maybe do some of the little questionnaires on it, and then we all have ADHD, but it's to know the research around it, isn't it?
Yes, I get
So,
you. Yeah.
yeah, I think I would definitely say books would be the good place to start because then you maybe might find an author or a researcher that you like, and then you can look them up. You could be they might have podcasts or YouTubes or TED Talks or you know different formats where you'll get more of the information that you enjoyed from them. But yeah, that's where I would
And
go.
that's the thing, your author heroes. So that's very much something I would do now. So Varka Ratu, you know, she's written a couple of
I
papers.
love
I just
Varka.
love working with Varka. And
Mm.
just this morning, she tagged me on Instagram and then she sent me her latest paper. So straight away, I can't wait to have a read of that. But straight
Oh
away, I'll go
yeah.
to the reference list because I'll know that she will have researched everything.
Mm, mm.
So you know those authors and you know those papers are going to, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
there's a whole little kind of a pathway and a routine that you kind of slot into, isn't there, Lisa?
completely. Yeah, completely. And I
Yeah,
guess someone like that then because she's so credible. Like
totally.
you're, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. When I found her excellent, the year I was doing the course because I did email her a bit about some of the stuff, and she was again so good. Like she was so good to break it down. Like you really have to break things down to like junior level for me to grasp, and she had no problems doing it. Like it was,
She's so passionate and
mm,
you can ask her anything. She's honestly my go-to.
yeah. And I think I think someone's mind when they're because I find her incredibly intelligent, but I think like obviously to be able to like have so much in your brain and have it at such a high standard to then be able to break that down to such a level that I can grasp what she's saying, I think it really, really shows how well someone knows their topic.
Oh,
Because
yes.
if you can educate it at a high level, you know, when we were using big words and big terms, you know, like when you can do it at that level, but then you can break it down to the ABCs for me to then be able to grasp. I just think you'll know it so, so well. Like, don't you? I think that's a great skill.
Definitely. Lisa, what's next for Lisa Pearson?
Well, I did have my next course picked out, but in true Irish fashion, we bought a field. So that was my funding pulled.
Okay.
But I don't mind. The course I'm looking at, it is a research course. So the next cohort of that is next September. So I'll just look at maybe doing that. But I know I keep saying this to you and putting awful pressure on you. Like, some of my reluctancy to start any other course is waiting to see what Siobhan Kelleher is bringing next, because I don't want to be in a position that I can't start that. So no pressure. I know these things are very easy to set up, Siobhan. So just come on, get on with
Yeah,
it.
very easy, Lisa. Lisa, I wish you the best of luck. And, you know, it's exciting for me to watch your journey. I'm delighted that you're part of the faculty here. And I just want to say the best of luck in the future. And I know you're going to come back on and we're going to go through some of the pillars of lifestyle medicine and talk a little bit more.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And yeah, look forward to having you on again. Take care now.
Thanks so much, Siobhan. Take care. Bye bye.